Hey, what's going on? You're now tuned in to the PVD Horror Podcast. I'm Brandon, and I'm joined by my co-host Dave. And today we have a special guest, the Scariest Cut podcast. They're also a local group from Providence, Rhode Island. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Sure can. My name's Tom Moran.
And I'm Matt Moran.
We got
All right.
our other cousin in the corner over here. He's not on camera. Oh, actually, he's on camera.
Oh, there he is.
There
we
is.
go.
It's James.
That's the
That's the last you'll
Scariest
see
Cut.
him.
If you like all things horror and want to get the best horror news, interviews, and reviews,
Like, subscribe, and ring that bell to follow us and satisfy all your horror needs.
Guys, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
No
no
problem, man. So, like we talked about before, this is our monthly recap episode. So this month we're gonna focus on all the crazy shit that happened in the month of October. So tell us a little bit about what you guys did in October.
Damn, where do we start?
It's always a busy month.
Seriously.
I kicked off. This was actually September, but I did Halloween Horror Nights down in Orlando,
Okay.
which was always fun. I know you
Yeah.
also did a haunt.
I did a haunt. I did 13th World. Probably not at the same caliber.
It's pretty
But-
close.
It's all right. We can chat about that too. Dave did that. They did both, right?
I did both. Shout out to Cumberland.
Combi.
Yeah, so 13th World, like we had talked about before, I thought it was for what it is. It's like, everything's homemade and all that stuff, but I thought it was pretty fun, and it was long, and they did their best. They had a lot of different themes. The Christmas theme was definitely pretty awesome, and then just the chainsaw stuff was cool, which I feel like chainsaws in a haunt is like a must.
They always get you.
Oh, yeah,
Even if you're
nowadays.
prepared for it, it still gets you.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
did that one with you 2020. I think
Yeah.
we did it. And yeah, there was one room with chainsaws, and I was like, I'm going to get hit in the face.
So Matt, you were saying with the Halloween Horror Nights, what were a couple of your highlights of the haunted houses there?
Our favorite house, because I think we only got to like 4 of them.
Yeah.
But our favorite by far was Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it's always a big hit with me.
Yes.
What was the other ones we did? There was a cool witch one. I forget the name of it though.
It was like a culty one though, right? It was like
Yes.
cultish. Yeah, Blood
Yeah.
Moon, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that one.
was-
I think that was my favorite. Other than I would say those were my two favorites there. The Universal Monsters one was cool because it focused on Jekyll and Hyde, which
Yeah.
are kind of like the not ever talked about Universal Monsters.
Yeah, it was kind of the obscure characters this time, which you
yeah.
have to appreciate. They're kind of the originals was like Phantom and Hunchback.
Yep.
Which
I
there
think
was a
Hunchback
really-
was the actual very first one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Then
there was a
Phantom.
cool scare there where he like dropped down from that,
Yes.
like balcony up top.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. When I went, it was torrential downpour. Did you have the same experience or no?
No, surprisingly, we got really lucky. Like it
Oh, yeah.
was perfect weather, not too hot. Because I've gone years past. There was first year we went, it was torrential downpour, which at first was fine, and then after an hour, it's like, all right, now it sucks.
Yeah. And it's funny because people don't stop though, just because it's raining. Like everybody's just out there in their ponchos, and like
Oh yeah,
some
just
people
gotta
don't
keep
even have
going.
them on. Yeah, you just keep going. So yeah, a lot of fun.
And then
Alright.
also, we did some costuming.
Yes. We definitely jumped into our best costumes. I won a costume contest at the
Yeah.
Dark Lady. That was fun.
Okay. Congratulations.
Surprise!
Thank you. Yeah, it was a creepy clown. You can check it out on our Instagram at the Scariest Cut. But
Yeah.
we went to one of your events as well, the karaoke party.
Yeah.
I was dressed in that.
Tormenting people.
Just a great time. Shout out to Kathy, the lady I was chasing around all night.
She'll never come back.
Yeah.
Probably the most menacing person that I've seen at a karaoke event ever.
That's funny. And I was going easy.
I know.
Dude, the silicone mask though, got it from Immortal Masks, and it's the best. It's the best. Like it just changes your whole dynamic. And oh, it's so fun getting into character. It just changes you.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
you take it off later.
Oh God, you sweat
Drenched
like
in
a
sweat.
mother under those things. But I love them. They're expensive, but
Yeah.
if you're into that stuff,
And they
um,
last a while.
They do if you take care of it. Yep, you got to be careful putting it on. But yeah, man,
That's cool. That's
That was
cool because I had told you guys that was something I had liked about those masks because you could see your lips still moving, like you could stick your tongue out, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was something cool, you know. So it's definitely like you said, it's expensive, but that's what it comes down to. You know, those are the best materials and stuff like that. Like you said, they also last. So shout out
Yeah.
to the creators of those masks that you
Oh
guys got because
yeah.
they definitely fucked a lot of people up, you know. So.
Yeah. That's my favorite part about Halloween. It's like haunting people. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm sick.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's fun because like you don't touch anybody. You're not
No,
like
no.
you're not like intruding on anyone. You're literally just
No.
like going up to them and like just I don't know, something just like there's something just super effective about the way that like you do it or that like the
Yeah.
voice you use and everything. I don't know. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks. No, I got to know my boundaries, right? Never gonna run up and start touching people, stuff like. I'll get shot, right?
Yeah,
It's
pretty
Rhode
much.
Island.
Nobody like we didn't have to come up to you and be like, "Hey, bud, like we appreciate what you're doing, but can you cut it out?"
Yeah,
You
tone
know?
it down. No,
We didn't have
no,
to have one of those conversations.
I actually had to apologize to somebody because somebody didn't like me doing that at one point. So
Oh man.
yeah, so I apologized, let him know, hey, this person's husband is in on it.
Oh, okay.
He's egging me on. He actually bought me a beer to do this. So
Oh my god. Was
once,
that at
once
our event or at Dark Lady?
that was actually at one of your events. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. But no, the person was perfectly cool after.
Yeah,
once
yeah.
they were
All
looped
right.
in. But yeah, you gotta
Yeah, you got free beer.
I got a free beer. You gotta read the room. But it's all good. It's all in good fun. Right? It's that time of year.
You gotta expect
You
it.
gotta expect it.
Everybody's entitled to one good scare, right?
That's right.
Or so they
Yeah,
tell
so
us.
that was our Rock the Dead Part 2 karaoke Halloween party. Appreciate everybody that came out. We had a good time, but I told you guys before, I was upset that you guys didn't sing, because I was definitely waiting for you guys to sit there and get on the mic, and sing some songs. So next year definitely plan it out, get some songs going.
We'll practice.
Yeah, I catch myself singing in the car, and I'm like, "That's awful."
Yeah.
No one should
All
ever hear
right.
this.
Yeah,
fine.
Did you hear Brendan and I singing? Because
It was lovely.
yeah, I don't think you'd have to worry about how you sound.
you guys sounded great, especially after a few beers,
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything
sound even
really-
better.
Yeah.
Little Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to say shout out to Chimichangas of Death, who was up from Texas, doing some work thing, and then he messaged us and said, "Are you guys up to anything?" And what do you know? We have a karaoke night going on, so he showed up, and I think he had a good time.
Yeah.
And at some point, we're gonna have to talk about The Unnameable in his honor because that's a film that he loves that he feels nobody ever talks about. So
Nice.
that'll happen at some point. We'll see.
So we had a lot of the crazy events, we started off the season with the pop-up little shop of horrors part 3. See, that's crazy. That's our
Yeah.
third
Yeah, 3.
pop-up.
Yeah.
So it was a good time, a lot of cool vendors came out. You guys were also there, we had Newport Creamery in attendance, Screaming Unicorn. So a lot of people, had a good time, and we appreciate you guys coming out and supporting us. So what'd you guys think about this year's pop-up?
Oh, we love that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's always good. I
We,
like all the small vendors and stuff.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
got to support local creators, local artists, right? All that stuff. So that's one great part of it. And then, I walked home with it's a cat skull that somebody
Okay.
turned. Yeah. So, you see all that stuff there. Love it. I love it. The
Yeah,
odd and obscure things.
I
Yeah,
always love the Buttonwoods things too. I got a little puppy now, and he comes everywhere.
There you go.
Yeah, they love little Hank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets a lot of friends.
yeah.
Now, where do you have the cat skull displayed in your house?
Oh, it's just in the corner with some other weird stuff. You know
Okay.
how it is. Get it
Uh,
all together.
All
do
for
you own any
bones.
pets?
Yeah, my cat Freddy. Shout out
so
Freddy.
what's your cat Freddy think about a skull being in the house?
It's all good. He knows. He knows who's boss. Him.
Got your little pet cemetery over there.
Yeah.
Did-
right.
Skull is at church.
Did you guys see the there was an actual like cat head in a jar?
No, I missed that.
No, was that a raccoon head?
Possibly.
might have been-
I
yeah.
thought it was a cat, but maybe it was a raccoon head.
It
and I
might have
was
been a
like,
rat. Yeah, was that the lamp?
That was another thing. So we had,
Okay,
we definitely had some weird things this year because we went a little heavier with some of the vendors being like, more like oddities and stuff like that. So there was a little bit more of that this year, which, we were trying it out to see how that lands, see how people liked it. I liked the variety. I thought that there was some pretty cool stuff there. the oddity stuff gets kind of pricey. I think that's kind of what makes it challenging. So, but like there was some things there that I'm like, oh man, I really would love that, but like I don't know if it crosses the line. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. I have, and I'm saying that, and I also have a mummified cat in my downstairs and some like cow eyes and stuff like that in jars. So I got some pretty weird stuff, but I was like, if that's a cat head, I don't know if that's too far. Feels like it might be.
No, no,
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
so.
just some stuff you might have to put away when certain people come over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
My
just
grandma
take a
just
quick
shows
sweep.
up.
Yeah.
Shit's crazy. Yeah, so we were able to vend at 2 conventions this month also. What was it? Terracon, and we were also going down to Monster Expo. Those are 2 great events, so we appreciate everybody inviting us out there to be vendors and be a part of the horror community. It was a cool time. Dave, what do you think about that event?
Yeah. So starting off with Terracon was first, I believe. And Terracon was a lot of fun. I had a great time. The guests were pretty incredible. And the ironic thing is like when we've been to so many conventions, and you guys probably can relate to this. Like I feel like the bigger name people I'm kind of already seen a few times at this point. So now I'm like excited by some of the like little, like I shouldn't say little names, the the other names that they have come along that you just maybe haven't seen before. For example, they had, and I can't remember his name, the kid from Nightmare on Elm Street 5, the Dream Child.
Yeah.
And they had that kid, and that was like so weird because he looks like the same, just a little older.
Really?
He was even wearing like a weird hat and stuff like that. He looked like he was from Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
But there was a few like names like that I was like, I've just never seen them at conventions before, so that was cool. And then like the highlight for me was Eddie Furlong being there and
Nice.
telling him that how much Brain Scan meant to me, and like growing up on Terminator 2 and Pet Cemetery 2 was pretty awesome. So yeah, it was a
Dude,
good
that's
time.
cool. I love Brain Scan, man. Nobody talks about that movie.
I know. I still have yet to
Classic.
watch it.
It's a great
Oh,
movie.
you haven't seen it yet?
I have not. You've been telling
Okay.
me because we did it for one of our old Scariest Cuts, but you watched that one.
Dude, he should have been like the new Freddy. He could have caught on. He
Mm.
had charisma, right? He was something creepy about him.
So
Something
instead, they waited for him to get a little bit too old, and then they put him as the Crow. It's like, come on. They totally missed he was 13 in Terminator 2. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
13, and he was badass.
Yeah.
He was like, on his little dirt bike and stuff like that in the sewers and stuff. That was, something else. You're right. They missed the boat on that one.
Yeah.
And then there was Monster Expo, which was also a lot of fun. Michael Berryman was there. That one is way more like vendor heavy. So there's only like typically like 5 guests. There was a couple of leather faces, and Michael Berryman was kind of like the big name of that one. He is so freaking nice. That dude was like so soft spoken and like not intimidating at all. Just super fun. And that whole event was just one of those ones where it just feels like the horror community is all just coming together to hang out. So it almost feels like a party more than it like a convention, which I appreciate,
Yeah, so shout out to that Strange Show podcast, So it was cool catching up with those guys, and just kind of talking, also the Death Drop, gorgeous guys, Monster Makeup LLC, Aaron Beauregard, just catching up with a bunch of good friends, and just hanging out. So just catching up. Yeah, it was a cool event. We were also invited down to Salem, and we hosted the Q&A for Freddy versus Jalen. Freddy
versus Jalen is actually my favorite one.
That's crazy. It's like a new fan film right that I just made.
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason. So yeah, it was a good time. Silver Moon Comics had invited us down because we filled in for our friends at the Horror Squad podcast, and it was a great event. We were able to sit there and interview Douglas Tate, kind of go over a lot of cool stuff. There was a lot of cool people in the event. 2 kids that stood out. Little funny guys dressed up like as Freddy and Jason. Dave, you want to talk a little bit about that?
So when they walked in, the first one came in wearing like a Friday the 13th shirt. The second one walked in wearing Freddy sweater, this curly blonde hair, and he had a Freddy glove on. He looked like what Robert Englund probably looked like when he was like 5 years
Oh,
old.
man.
And the kid just kept like flashing his glove at everybody, and he was like just very like extroverted. And Douglas at one point does the mom, mom. And he asks the audience, does anyone know what that actually means? Like what those words are? And those two kids like raised their hand right away, and they were the only ones in the audience that knew the answer. And then later, we did the Q&A and we opened up to the audience, and the little Freddy kid asked the question, and it was like, would you like to see Freddy versus Jason versus Ash on the big screen? And of course we would, but like it probably would be. So Douglas said like, yes, but would you also want to see that though if it's not going to be Robert Englund? Which I thought was an awesome response, because I was like, it kind of brings us back to that idea. Do we want another Nightmare on Elm Street if it's not going to be Robert Englund? And
Yeah,
I don't
this
know.
is-
I'm kind of on the fence about that. So I was going to ask you guys what you think about that.
Yeah, no. So Nightmare's Tom's like favorite.
Yeah.
And I know Robert Englund's pretty much said like that's out for him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's like 70.
He's just hurting now,
Yeah.
right? He can't
Yeah.
move the same way he's beat up. He admits it. But I don't know.
Yeah,
CGI nowadays, you mix it up a little, blend the
CGI.
two, and then I don't know.
I mean, they tried it 13 years ago, and that was a disaster.
Let him at least
Yeah.
voice over a character or something. I don't know.
What if it's a hologram,
Sure, make it
Little
happen.
AI, little
AI.
AI
in there.
actually. I don't know about AI. All right, that's a sensitive subject here.
Hey, I don't know. You see, what was it the other day? The fucking Beatles kind of recreated a fucking song with AI and
Oh,
put
yeah,
it
that
out.
was
So
weird.
it's like, why?
It's Peter Jackson magic.
That's
Oh,
just
boy.
crazy.
It's taking
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Would I watch it though if it ever came out? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we also watch everything. So I mean, that's like
Yeah.
That's true.
we're
That's
We're
true.
obligated now.
but we'll have our opinions. That's
Yeah.
that's one thing.
But
And
we won't
I
like
mean,
it.
exactly. That's no matter what
We
comes
won't
out,
like it.
like we'll disapprove. So
But yeah, Douglas also said something cool to the little kid. He said, "You know what? Maybe in 10 years, you can be Freddy." You know what I mean? So that was something cool, and you see like the kid's eyes light up. So what I mean, it's out there for the taking. We talk about it a lot, like who can take his role as Freddy. You know what I mean? No one
Yeah.
wants to see it happen, but it's going to happen sooner or later.
Mm.
Same thing with all the other icons. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
happen. It's just gonna be repeated over and over. So who you know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like,
I think the bigger question is who's going to be Jalen in Freddy versus Jalen.
hey, who knows? There's three fucking how many Tommy Jarvises do we have? So
That's true.
you know what I mean? So I think anybody can do it. It's a
No
black,
matter
it's a
what,
black,
though,
black
Bruce
Jason.
Campbell will still be playing Ash when he's 100.
Yeah. He's the only one out of all of them that will only he'll always be his role. So
He's still good at it. He's still
he
good.
is. He is.
Ash versus Evil Dead was solid.
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah.
not bad. All right. So also I want to say give a shout out to Buttonwoods Brewery with Sean Fitz. We were able to host Horror Trivia Night Part 2. It was a crazy turnout, but sadly, to let everyone know, we had the same winners from the last event from the first time. So definitely we want to try to get everyone out there to come and put this Avenger team together to take this team out.
Put them
They
to
know who
rest.
they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Break their
I like
legs.
that.
We got to start studying.
I know. There are savants out there that
Yeah,
know
no,
so much about this stuff, and it just sticks with them.
I can't remember anything. So.
Yeah, I don't know what I did yesterday. Where am I
So-
right now? I have no idea.
Where am I? You're in
Um,
some little there's a little house behind you.
Yeah,
over
I think
there.
you're in a forest. Apparently.
Don't know how we got here.
This is our cabin.
go.
Help!
How are you guys connected to electricity? Is what I want to know.
Magic.
So to give everybody a little head start, just to let everyone know, we plan on doing part 3 of our trivia night in February. So it's gonna be like a Valentine's Day type massacre, like themed trivia. So it'd be something cool. So definitely brush your skills up, get ready. It's gonna be a good time.
Message the scariest cut and join our team.
Yep. If you know
Because
everything.
we need some good people on our squad.
I know. I went to one trivia years ago for Game of Thrones, and I was like, I know everything about this. and I realized how wrong I was.
Mm.
The questions are obscure, and you guys were telling us not too long ago some of these questions, and
Nah.
you guys go deep with some of that stuff. So
That's the
Yeah.
goal. And like so the difference with this, like with part 2 versus when we did the first one we were just trying to murder people like with our questions. We were like straight up like we need to come up with things that nobody's going to know. And then this one, I think we were trying to make it so that everyone would feel like they could participate. So some of them were kind of like layups, and then some of them were, you know, really obscure. The Brandon, what was your favorite round? Because so we did like 60s, 70s, that was its own round. 80s was its own round, 90s, 2000s. Then we did a video round, which was kills, and you had to guess the movie. So we showed a kill scene, you guess the movie. There's a music round where he plays a song and you name the song. And then is that it, Brandon?
I like the tiebreaker. The two guys had to sit there and do rocks, paper, scissors, shoot. So
second place came down to that. Yeah.
So it was cool.
The video kill round was fun. That was we started it off with a layup for everybody, but just to kind of get everybody all amped up. And it was the Jason Takes Manhattan boxing scene.
Yeah.
nice.
Rooftop. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Everyone
round I
loved
feel
that.
like I would be decent at.
How long do the clips last for? Like you just show the whole
It
clip
just-
or like 10 seconds?
Sometimes depends on the scene. So yeah, so it depends on it. But we've tried to show like the whole kill, like the full thing, like the whole roundup. So but the Jason thing,
right.
it was like the whole boxing match, you know. And so it was just like I think that was like what, almost like 3 minutes.
Yeah. That would
Kind of get the crowd going, you know, try to get people into it. So doing a little something different instead of just showing like a couple of seconds of it. But yeah, it was a good time. What else was it? Yeah, the winners, like I said, it's the same winners again. So definitely everybody come out February. We have to figure out a date, but that's what we're aiming for.
Yep. Usually on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
This winter, we're training.
Yeah, props to the
there you go.
winners. Props to them, but we're coming for you.
We just need someone who knows directors and actors because we're awful with that.
There you go. I think the coolest thing that's kind of evolved in the last few months for us has been like the transition from like solely doing movie nights to now we have like different types of events just to kind of mix it up. So it's not boring. It's, you know, we see a lot of the same people. They come to our movie nights, come out to this too. So it's like, you know, everyone's kind of getting together, but we're not just like sitting and watching a movie every time we're together. Like sometimes people are singing, sometimes we're doing trivia. That feels like, I don't know, that feels a lot of fun. And I feel like that's the direction, you know, I'm hoping we can keep going with, you know, our types of events. That's not like redundant and everybody's like, oh, that's boring, you know?
Never boring.
In those
never
movie
boring.
nights, you bring in some big crowds now.
Yeah, seriously. Got to bring our own seats now when we show up.
Yeah, bring our own seat.
It grew exponentially. Let's just put it that way. That was this summer was crazy. It was crazy.
That was a good time.
I'd say,
Some
listen,
fun
that's
ones.
because of all your hard work. You know, it's paying off, guys. Like you're out there hustling.
Appreciate it
every day. But yeah, no, and we want to keep that going. So, you know, to everybody listening, thanks for coming to these events and showing support. But yeah, honestly, the only way we can keep doing it and doing bigger things is if people continue to show up. So hopefully they do.
We will.
Right. We appreciate it. So you want to talk about the past few episodes, Dave, to kind of update all the listeners if they miss a few episodes?
So we compiled a quiz for Tom and Matt about our last few episodes, and we're going to see how caught up they are. No, just kidding. We didn't do that. But we had some fun ones. So we had Drew Marvick. You guys might know him from Pool Party Massacre, Murder Size, /Lorette Party. Also just from being a super funny like social media guy. His episode was a lot of fun. He is funny, but also like intelligent and just creative. So that's you know, a perfect combo for being a social media influencer, I guess. You gotta have all those things.
He seems, I listened to that. He seems very down to earth. And I love when he was talking about his family, his son, right? And how he was telling his son he can't watch the movie, but he was also hoping his son would watch the movie. I was like, this guy's cool.
Cool. That's such a different take on it too, because
Yeah.
like, you know, I just love that he actually like he clearly thought about it. Like
Yeah,
he thought
yeah.
about how he wants his kid to experience things
Mhm.
like horror and all the other things that like kids should be getting cheap thrills from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's cool. Um, we got to connect with Tori Potenza, who is I think she's the associate producer, is her role
Yep.
for the new In Search of Darkness 90 to 94 doc that's going to be coming out. So she came on and was just kind of talking about, you know, they were doing their campaign for people to be able to reserve their copies of that, but also just to talk 90s horror with us. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're calling it like the overlooked era of film. And I think that that's a pretty good point. I never really thought about how much 90s horror impacted me or like my connection to 90s horror until recently, just kind of like looking at all those films. But it's like, damn, I really did. Like, I love 80s horror, but like, I definitely grew up with 90s horror more than I grew up with 80s horror. Like, I went back and watched 80s horror, whereas like 90s horror, I was going to the theater as like a high school kid or whatever and, you know, indulging in that stuff.
What are
So,
Yeah,
some of
you
your
really
guys' favorite 90s horror films?
you really only ever hear about like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
yeah,
in the
Mm.
90s.
yeah, yep.
I love, even though it's an awful movie, but American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what
It's so bad.
I have that thing on DVD. And you know what? The best, but the soundtrack,
Oh,
that
the
Bush
soundtrack's
song.
great.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mouth.
Mouth. Yeah.
It's a great
Wow.
soundtrack, but it's such a bad movie. But it's one of those I just throw on to be like, yeah, I remember watching this as a kid.
That's a cool concept. They lock him up in a bar, whatever it was, some like dance club, and
Oh
then just
yeah,
murder him.
it was the CGI was really what hurt that one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, when you have American Werewolf in London, and then this is what you give us.
Yeah.
This is what you give me.
But
Yeah.
it was a new concept.
Yeah.
Still a
Mm.
fun movie.
Yeah.
What other ones? Urban Legend, I do think, is a fun one, which
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot more about recently.
Mhm.
But like, I think that's better to me than like I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Hot take.
Eh.
Very hot take. Urban Legends is great. Yeah. And I feel
Yeah.
like I will probably see a resurgence in like interest in that film because I think it's been overlooked for so long.
Yeah.
But when that came out, that was like really popular to the point where they made the sequels, you know what I mean? And they had like so many big names in that first one. I think was it Ryan Phillippe was in that one, right? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Jared Leto.
yeah.
Was it Jared Leto? Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there was some
Yeah,
some
it's
big
crazy
names
when
in
you
that.
go back and look at all the people that were in some of those films at the time.
It is a
Yeah.
lost decade, though.
Especially horror.
Yeah.
It's like so many big names started in that. And
Yeah.
like now you go back and watch, you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, 90s horror was like big for that because I mean, like disturbing behavior. You had like Katie Holmes. I think James Marsden might have been in that one. I could be wrong. Then you got the faculty with like that all-star cast.
Yeah.
I think the
Love
90s
that
was
movie.
yeah, the 90s was more about let's take popular teen actors and put them in our movies versus like 80s. It felt like that everybody got their start in like a horror movie before they
Yeah.
went on to something else. So
Yeah,
it
like
just
even pop stars and stuff like that too, because they
Yeah.
threw Usher in the faculty, and then like what Brandy was in. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. So just doing all crazy shit like that. I
Yeah.
think that's what they like to do.
Busta Rhymes.
Yep. LL Cool J, right?
LL Cool
Halloween.
J,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And that Halloween
Classic.
H2O is actually a pretty solid one.
It's
Oh,
not bad.
H2O is a classic. That was the first Halloween film that I had seen in the theater. So
Idle
definitely.
Hands. Did that come
Idle
out?
Hands, I love.
yeah, Idle Hands. Yep. Yeah, that was crazy too.
So the doc that they're coming out with first is going to be 90 to 94, and then there'll be the second half will be obviously
Yeah.
the rest of that decade. So that's going to be interesting when they come out with that campaign to kind of see what films landed in that 95 to 99 because like I haven't looked ahead to see like what films will be highlighting, but yeah, just in that first 5 years it was pretty crazy the ones that came out. Candyman came out in early 90s, which
I always forget
Yeah.
that. It feels like an 80s movie.
it does, right?
Mm.
Yeah. That's it. How do you guys feel about the remake recently?
I liked
Past
it. I
few
enjoyed it.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually
I
a
liked
huge fan of that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
liked
Yeah. I thought they did well.
Another guest we had on, which I mean, I was kind of blown away when I got to talk to this guy, Dennis Paoli. He's a screenwriter, but the guy's been he's attached to so many classic films. Reanimator, um, Goblin, what was it? Goblin, Ghoulies 2, um, Castle Freak, and then and a few others, but then he also just wrote Suitable Flesh, which will be coming, well, just came out in theaters, I believe, last Friday. But the guy is like a screenwriting legend, and he is just super knowledgeable, and he's like really into like the HP Lovecraft film. So it's cool to be able to talk to him, considering we have like the HP Lovecraft connection here in Rhode Island. And just like, the relationship he had with those films, and just like with like doing the literature adaptation. So it's cool. And he's an older gentleman, and he's still doing it. And he's like, I have so many written projects that have never even, been looked at, that I hope will at some point see the light of day. So it's like the guy's constantly working and creating. So that was a cool conversation. The other one, and Brandon, I know we were pretty excited about this one, was Heebie Jeebie TV.
Yeah.
And
Those guys were pretty cool. That was a crazy film to be able to watch. They had sent us the screener from a Screenbox, and then so we were able to connect with those guys, and it was a crazy ride just watching that film, and just seeing how creative people are, and that the art is still there, and it just made you feel like you were back in the 80s and the 90s, just growing up like on a Saturday morning watching crazy cartoons and shit. Like there was like a little segment that they had that was kind of like the creepy crawlers commercials and shit like that, and then just like talking with those guys, like some of those backdrops and shit like they built in their basements and stuff like that. And it was just like, dude, like I fucking wish like I had like these backdrops when I was playing with my toys when I was younger. Because remember those old commercials when it's like
Oh yeah.
shows of fucking street sharks just fucking like bouncing up through the fucking thing, and I'm just like, dude, like this is not in the box, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
those guys created that shit, and so it was like really awesome to see that, the old QVC shopping, home shopping network type shit, like the sex lines and stuff, commercials and stuff like that. So it was a wild ride. So, and being able to talk with those guys was a pretty cool. And Dave, you had went down to Philly and you were able to meet up on one of the
Actually,
guys, right?
it was Lancaster.
Okay.
So they're all out of Lancaster. So we're kind of talking about the Pennsylvania horror scene. I didn't know what
Mm.
part of Pennsylvania they were from, and they told me it was Lancaster, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going there in like 3 days." So they said, "Message us when you're down, and maybe we can meet up." So I ended up hitting them up, and then I was able to meet up with Eric from the group, and that was cool. We were kind of talking about horror and all other stuff. And then also we got ourselves a copy of their box set for Heebie Jeebie,
Yeah.
which if you guys watch the film, the whole premise is like this cable box. So the box is like supposed to look like the cable box with a brain on the top, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, they're great guys, just doing it for the love of horror and indie horror. So really excited to see what they're gonna have to bring us down the road. We had a couple other guests on. I'll just kind of breeze through. Brandon Christensen, he did Puppet Man, which is on Shudder. If you guys haven't checked that out, that was a pretty cool film. Kind of like they kept comparing it to like the style of what's the film, Brandon? I'm drawing a blank. Final Destination.
Yeah.
So that kind of like, the teens getting knocked off kind of one by one. It's, trying to figure out who's going to be next. Did you guys check out Puppet Man?
Not yet.
Not, but I love the Final Destination movie, so right up my
Yeah.
alley.
Yep.
Yeah,
Add it to
definitely.
the list.
Yeah, it was definitely a good film. Brandon's a good dude, and he was again another one that I kind of excited to see what films he's going to have next. We had Connor Allen, who did In the Fire. That starred Amber Heard, which was kind of wild to see her in a role after all the controversy, obviously. So that was an interesting conversation, and definitely kind of stayed safe in those conversations as well. And Aberrance, I got to interview the director of this film, which was pretty cool because it was all like through translator, and it's the first time like a Mongolian horror film is getting a theatrical release here in the States.
Wow.
So it's kind of like groundbreaking, and it was like I was really impressed with the film itself. It's definitely like it's super stylistic. Just kind of shocked me. Not something I would have expected for there. And then they were saying like horror is not a thing there really. It's so like this film is kind of like groundbreaking for the whole country. So it's not just the fact that it came here, but just like horror doesn't get made there. So we're seeing that more and more. We're getting a lot of like foreign directors coming on here that we get to talk to, and they're like I think about Brandon, the one from Sweden. Was it Sweden?
Yeah. Yep.
And he was like, there's not really a big horror scene here, right? So I mean, we're seeing that like people are starting to try to bring that to their home, and I think that's awesome. I just want to see more and more of that because like every culture has something different.
I was gonna say, do you think it's because other countries are just happy, and that's why we have so much horror here? Like,
you know what?
is it?
That's a really good question. That is interesting. I think also censorship has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, because we did that big Q&A a few months ago with the Red Ink Library. So we had what was his name? Fuck. All right, we're gonna
Alexander Hebert.
yeah, we're gonna fix it. Yeah, so we were just talking about all that, and like you said, the censorship kind of like stopped horror from like for a long time, and then so it just started to kind of like pick up like years later. So it's odd, So like you said, most places are probably happy. You know what I mean? So
they're either happy or they're controlled. So it's one or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe they're not happy.
That's the thing. We get these wave of like foreign movies start coming over here, and then we just start remaking those movies, but they're worse.
But they're worse. Seriously.
That's so funny. Like, why do we feel like we have to put our American touch on everything?
you guys didn't do it right. Hold on, let me fix this. Let's fuck this up a little bit.
They don't care.
No, it's like Inside. That drives me nuts. Like to me, I love the movie Inside, the French new wave extremist.
Yeah,
film.
that was great.
Love it. And then we decided to make an American version of it. It's like, why bother? You're not gonna if you're not even gonna go as extreme, why bother? The same with what was the other one? Martyrs, right?
Yeah.
They did a Martyrs American version, and it was like so tame. Why? The whole point of it is it's
I'll tell you why. It's money. It's literally money. The marketing's already there, right? The word of mouth.
But
So they know if they make it.
Miss the cue. Like these movies, especially those two, are like they were big because of the shit they did in those movies. Like it's insane,
right?
And then for us to take it and be like, too much.
Yeah. Let's dull this down a little bit. That's what the audience is looking for. That's what it is. So,
nah, it's crazy. But yeah, next I want to talk about a few independent films. So I want to put the spotlight on our buddies over at Check the Candy podcast. You can check those guys out. But they have a new film that had just released. It's called Nest. So you can definitely check that out. And they have another film, The Devils Are We. So if anybody that's listening that hasn't checked this film out, definitely check it out. It's on YouTube. I think Nest is probably like 16 minutes and 45 seconds.
yeah.
Devils Are We. I think it's
that was an hour 17 if I looked when I looked the other day.
Definitely check it out. Want to sit there and give much love to a lot of independent filmmakers and just kind of just doing what their dreams and their passions to kind of keep themselves busy. So you definitely check that out and check out their podcast. We were on an episode a couple of weeks ago. So if you haven't, go give that a listen.
Yeah. They're good dudes. And it's funny because like we were talking to them and they were asking about some of the live stuff that we do. And it's interesting because I feel like we're always so focused on like trying to put together these events, but like for other individuals who really are like into the genre and doing stuff, like for them, I feel like they're spending a lot of time focusing on like creating content, which is awesome too. Like I'm like, damn, we should be making films. Like there's, they're both in two different states. One's I think Tennessee and Maine. And they're out there just kind of creating and getting super involved in that. And I give them a lot of credit for doing that. That's a lot of work, but
it is.
That's next on the list. Well, a comic book's going to be releasing soon, so I think that just got done they printed that up, so everyone should be receiving their comics soon that supported Kickstarter. So we appreciate everybody that put some money up for us to help get that off the ground. So
That's cool. You guys get murdered in this thing, or you don't want to
Hell
spoil it?
no. Hell
we are the
no.
murderers, buddy.
No, you're the
Oh,
murderers,
We're
huh?
gonna murder Scariest Cut in a minute if you think that's serious.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. You never know.
You guys want to get You guys want to get murdered?
Sure.
Finish it.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Comic book?
Please,
yeah.
that'd be awesome. Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
We'll have to throw that in. That'd be awesome.
Do it.
Ah, shit.
You know, that was our first time doing or being part of like a Kickstarter thing.
Yeah.
That's like a humbling experience.
Mm.
Asking people for money.
Excuse me.
I've
Please
never
give me
done
some money.
Yeah, I've never done something like that. And like in my head, I'm like, why should they give me money? Like I'm having like that I'm like second guessing myself. And then I'm reminding myself, well, it's for art. It's for, this passion project that we're all a part of. But like in my head, I'm like, I feel guilty asking people for money. It's just a weird experience. But it was, it was great that people kind of were able to show like that they had the interest in seeing this project get made. And in the end, I was like, just blown away with the generosity of everybody.
But it's a little different though, because it's like we're not just asking for money. You're also getting, you got a lot of cool perks. You know what I mean? You also
Yeah.
receive the comic book. There was a lot of other cool perks in there too. So it was just like you got something for your money. So it was definitely worth it. It
For
was
sure.
just like, just help us out. Help us get this off the floor. And then it's like, all right, it happened. So, and you shall receive your comic book soon. So
Yeah.
we appreciate the support.
Also helps to put a little pressure on to actually get it done.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. For
Look
sure.
here, motherfucker. You told me you were gonna sit there. I didn't see your name hit that account yet, so put that in there. But it was cool. It was easy. But we left the link up, and most of the people just clicked on the link and shit and kind of supported us. So you know that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
So the month of October was crazy. There was a lot of cool releases. We talked about that a few times, at some of our events. There was a big film that's been causing like crazy fucking disturbance in like, just getting things going, getting kids back in the theater. We have Five Nights at Freddy's, that started off, and it started off like one of the biggest debuts back in the day with Black Widow. So I think they're tied currently a little bit. I think it was 80 million. They both released back in the day on streaming platforms in the theater on the same day. Was it Black Widow was streaming on Disney Plus, but it was $20 extra. Five Nights at Freddy's is streaming on Peacock, which is free with your service provider. So, what do you guys think of the whole, theater and streaming on a platform releasing on the same day? What do you think that is doing for films today?
So I'm 50-50 with it because there's
Mm.
like definitely movies I wouldn't have probably seen that I will check out streaming. Like Five Nights at Freddy's, I did watch
Yeah.
the other week, and I enjoyed it, but I probably would have never gone to the theaters to see that.
Mm.
But then, there's sometimes movies at home don't feel right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like you want that movie theater experience, but you also want like sometimes the movie theater experience can be annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm for it. I think a lot more people are able to watch films. Some people just don't want to go to the theater, can't go to the theater for whatever reason, right? And they're able to watch it at home, maybe with their family. Maybe they have a family night, right?
Yeah.
And they get everybody to watch that stuff. So, I think it's cool. The world is different now, the way we watch, cinema and all kinds of stuff. So, doesn't bother me.
I would have been.
Nice.
I think I would have been pissed if I saw Five Nights at Freddy's at the movies. I enjoyed it as a watch at home. I don't think I would have.
Why?
I don't know. Because I didn't enjoy it enough to say that I would have wanted to spend the.
Gotcha.
But it
gotcha.
wasn't made for you though.
Yes, it was, Brandon.
You never even played the games.
I know all about the game. Don't worry about it, buddy.
Not made for you.
It was made for me.
You know what I
How
mean?
many?
Directly. Yeah.
Do you know how many games there are?
Too many.
I'm a ghost child.
That's a lot. I don't know.
It's like over 10, isn't it? Like
Yeah, it's
13
like
games or
crazy,
something.
and it's all been in with like less than 10 years or something.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that was the thing. Like, I never played the game, so yeah, I do
Yeah.
think some of the movie missed the mark for me. But again, yeah, I enjoyed it because I was watching at home and I could pause it or kind of not pay attention. If I was
Yeah.
stuck in the movie theater, I do kind of agree. I think I would have been like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good.
I didn't think it was a good film, but I wish I would have seen it in the theater over seeing it at home. But for the most part, I've seen like a few cool reviews. Someone had put down that they're just happy that people like Nintendo are making Mario movies, and they made this kid movie to get their smelly kids out of the house and shit. So it's cool. So to kind of see like something that's made for you and not Dave on the big screen, I think you can appreciate it.
I actually liked the film. I thought it was fun. I just liked watching it at home, and I think that's where I enjoyed it the most at home. But it was good. It kind of took me for a surprise.
Yeah.
It was way more serious than I thought it was going to be. Like I knew like obviously it was going to be some creepiness, but like the storyline that's happening like underneath like the animatronic people was way more serious than I had thought it was going to be. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was all added in because like I've never heard of anything like that. Like so I had gone back and I looked on like YouTube and tried to see like some gameplay, and it was just weird because it was just like some kid that was just playing, and it's like you have a laptop, you're in the office for most of the time of the game, and then so you're like flicking lights, closing the laptop, and then like looking at all the cameras and shit, and it's like every time you close it and open it back up, like those animatronics are like moving closer, and then sometimes they're popping next to the door, and I guess it's supposed to be like something like some Ghostbuster trap, like you close the door at a certain time and it like traps them or some shit.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but
there's a lot of stuff like that because
it was just going on and on.
I saw a clip where like you're supposed to listen to like the noise, like the lights are off, and you're supposed to put your flashlight on right when the like whoever it is sitting on a chair. So you're supposed to like listen to the footsteps and try and guess when it is, and then turn your flashlight on and right at just the right time. So it's a lot of stuff like that, I guess, which I think that would drive me nuts. But
well, I must say I like the twist at the end. Like, you know what I mean? I think that the twist at the end was made for us. You know what I mean? So took us back to like we talked about some 90s horror films.
Yep.
We don't want to give up what happened, but it kind of brought you back into a 90s horror movie. And so it was kind of cool. It was cool for me. I appreciated the ending a little bit. And I guess we'll probably get another movie, how many games are there?
Oh yeah, we'll get that many movies, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep
13.
pumping
We're
them
not
out.
done.
Yeah.
Freddy's back.
Can I just say this is like he's like the most irresponsible employee too. Like if you're like taking care of a child and you're like getting threatened that the child's gonna get removed, you probably shouldn't like intentionally sleep at your job. But call me old fashioned. This movie wasn't for me,
I think Dave's gonna be hired in the next film.
I should be. I should be.
And be like, hey, were you watching the videos? I don't know.
Well, when you go to your job with sleeping pills, I mean, it's pretty obvious what your goal is there.
But guys, we were supposed to record the videos of the surveillance things, but somehow we just didn't get that footage.
I forgot to press record.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh shit. So so there were some other films that came out on streaming platforms that we talked about a few times before when we met up with each other. The first one was Pet Sematary Bloodlines, so that made its streaming premiere on Paramount Plus. When I had watched the film, it started off pretty slow, but I had seen a lot of reviews. A lot of people were giving a lot of hate on it, talking about it was a piece of shit, yada yada yada. So I'm watching the film, and then I'm sitting there like, damn, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm actually starting to like this film because it's kind of based off the book. You know what I mean? So it's going off the book when Judd was younger, and that whole backstory was something that I always thought like, wow, they should focus on this a little bit and kind of like do something, because when the remake came out, we talked about that before, it was just pure trash. But I felt like they kind of saved themselves making this film. What'd you guys think about it?
This one, yeah, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I missed this
No?
one. I don't.
Okay.
This was Paramount, right?
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
I don't have.
I missed
Paramount
it
at the
because the
moment,
last
but
one wasn't great, so I was just
yeah.
like, I don't know.
Well,
I got so many other movies to watch. There's only
it's
so
been
much
a
time in the
busy
day.
movie month.
yeah, it has
Yeah.
been a busy movie month. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I gotta say, I kind of enjoyed this piece of shit. It was pretty, I
Look
thought it
here,
was pretty
buddy.
good. I know a lot of people were shitting on it, and for me, I was like, it definitely exceeded my expectation because my expectation was rather low. A few months ago, I told Brandon this already. We have a buddy out in LA, and he tends to get to see screeners, and he, does some write ups for them. And he had just kind of gave us a warning that this film's coming out, and this was before the announcement. And like, don't get your expectations up too high.
Mhm.
So I kind of already knew that it wasn't like gonna, be the best film, but it took me by surprise. I actually enjoyed like 75% of the film. The only thing I really didn't enjoy was like the final scene. It just felt like it was a little it could
No.
have just ended. It didn't need to happen, and it just felt like, I don't know, too much. But up until then, I liked the story about, Judd, and like Brandon, you're saying, it's just something that was always caught my attention in like the original film and in the book. So it
Mhm.
was kind of cool to like add that chapter into the story just to give you a bigger picture about, Ludlow. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I think there's a bigger issue going on at times, especially nowadays where, the trailers show too much.
Mhm.
That's one thing. And then you get a lot of people that voice their opinions about what they see, right? Like it's all over social media. And you hear this stuff and you see this stuff and it gets in your head. And then when you go to view it yourself for the first time, like you already have these expectations and it kind of not ruins it, but it warps the way you might have, you know.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
it's tricky watching films nowadays because there's just so much being thrown at you.
Yeah.
You're almost
You're
supposed to,
literally viewing
yeah,
it through that filter of what your
right.
previous what you previously heard or whatever. You're exactly right. I think that's
Yeah.
it. Like sometimes we get way too excited
Yep.
because we were on, you're on Twitter or X for like the week and that's all you see on there. And
Mm.
then other times, yeah, somebody like posts like a bad review and you can't get that review out of your head because it just stuck out to you. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
you filter it through that. Either you like want to prove it wrong in when you're watching it, or you're like, oh, this is going to be terrible, and then you have that mindset going into it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Then
that's
it's a
definitely a problem.
snowball effect. Yeah.
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 How do you can't get away from it nowadays? I mean,
No, you really can't.
It's
I think
everywhere.
I do think that these films, like even the remake, suffer from the fact that like the original Pet Sematary film is so beloved, and like that isn't like super true to the story, to the book though.
Mhm.
So like if you, for people to try to like make films that are truer to the book, I think everyone's like, that's not Pet Sematary. It kind of is though.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
when they come back, they're way more playful and like interactive than in that first film. Like I know we saw it a little bit with Gage in the end, but for the most part, like even in the remake, the way she was like playing with the dad a little bit and like kind of interacting with him more, I felt like that was kind of along the lines of how the book read, how they would come back and like taunt you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then this film too.
Yeah, it was funny. We were talking about this with Angel over at Monster Expo, and he made a comment like someone had said to him, like, they're not zombies. And he goes, well, like, but they are kind of like, you know what I mean? Like they
You
are.
bury them dead and they come back to life.
And
I don't
so
know what else you call them.
And by
yeah, so
definition,
ghouls,
Yeah.
right?
uh
Ghoulies.
hey.
subcategories.
See, that's the thing. It depends who you have these conversations with. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
It's like I don't think you can really talk talk like this with certain people because they're just gonna see one-sided points. If you can't see, you know, other layers to a conversation, then it's just like you're lost. You know what I mean? Because it's like with films like this newer film, it was supposed to be a remake, a follow up to the remake, but then the lady she wanted to sit there and say, you know, I'm following up to the book, and so I want to make a prequel from the book, and so that's what happened, and so um, we were also told that this was our first film, and she has a lot of big projects coming out soon, so definitely stay tuned from her. Her last name's Beer. I think it's Amanda Beer. Don't quote me. I don't know.
All right.
So, but definitely, I guess she has a lot of cool films that's going to be coming out, so with a lot of big names attached to them. So
Yep.
check it out. Keep an eye out for her because if you enjoyed this film, definitely follow her career because I guess she's going places.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, getting a lot of good first time directors showing up
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Talk to Me, the Raka Raka Philippi
Yeah.
brothers. Like
Yep.
that movie, I thought that movie was great.
It's your
Yep.
favorite movie of the
It
year
was
so
my
far,
movie
I
of the
think.
year so far.
Yeah, that was pretty
But
good.
then Cobweb was another one. I think that was that guy's first movie.
That was
Yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
just checked that out this past weekend, actually.
I thought that was really well done. Little things
Tom,
at the end, but
Yeah, Tom,
ju-
you just watched it.
I did. Yeah, I watched that and The Nun too, back to
Okay.
back.
he had a night.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Cobweb was cool. I thought that was great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And here I am giving my opinion on something right after just talking about everybody giving their opinion on shit, but it's a positive review, so take it for what it is. But yeah, I like not a monster movie and stuff, but creatures, and I thought that was visually pretty cool.
Yeah.
The shadow work that they did, all that stuff. So that was
Mm-hmm.
a fun movie. The Nun too. Watch it for yourself. I'm not going to say much about that.
Did you like it better than the first one though?
I don't know. Not really.
No,
Oh,
Not
okay.
really. No. I mean, it felt like the same kind of movie. Like
I
I
felt
don't
this
know.
one. This one kind of like put a story together and it kind of like gave you like the backdrop of what was going down with the people.
Oh yeah,
I
it
think the
rammed it
other
down
one.
your throat. They told you exactly what was happening at every moment. If you didn't know what was going on, they explained it all. Like,
Hey, when I watched the first one, I remember just shutting it off and I didn't even finish it. And then I ended up going back and then finishing the first one before I went to go see the second one. So I was just like, all right, let me just do this. But
Yeah.
Didn't
some
have to
people are
finish the
putting
first
this
one.
some people are putting this film high in the Conjuring franchise universe list. So I think some people had it over the original Conjuring, which was nuts. But
that is pretty crazy. I mean, I
That's
enjoyed
nuts.
the Nun too, but over the Conjuring is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm like the
Yeah.
original one is that's probably got to be the best one, right?
yeah, I think it's probably the best film that's out of that whole universe. The rest you
I
can
mean,
just
there's like 20 movies now. I don't know which ones
Yeah.
I've seen.
can't keep up.
I know we did not like the last Conjuring, but
nah.
But it's all good. Like I'm happy for somebody that enjoys it, right? Like that's great. That's great.
Now, what did
Me?
you guys think about the Conjuring, the sequel, the second one?
second one I really liked. I actually wanted to see, and I think they might have scrapped it, that Crooked Man movie.
Okay,
I thought that was a solid character design, but I think they actually scrapped a movie for once.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You guys gonna go do the sleepover at the Conjuring
Mm-hmm.
house anytime? They do that
We
now. They
I
rent
know
out the.
we
Yeah.
should. We should.
We could do that.
They should invite us on.
Yeah, to promote it, right?
And
Yeah.
do a podcast inside the house.
I mean,
Yo, let's do it.
I gave that guy ideas though. What was it? A few years ago when he first purchased the house, I was like, dude, we should do a screening over there. And he's like, yeah. And he just kind of ran off.
Yeah.
Started doing his own little thing. I'm like, all right.
So it's new owners now though,
Yeah.
and they are making some serious bank with screenings and all the stuff that they're doing, events and all that stuff. Like they are super into the business aspect of it, which
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Pulling that house, why not?
Exactly. It's the exact opposite of what like they did with the Amityville Horror House.
Mhm.
And like that is like devastating. Like they wanted nothing to do with the films. It's like, why purchase it and then they even changed the look of it,
Oh,
and
Get
this
rid
and
of
the
the
house and the house
windows.
number. Yeah.
that's messed up.
It's messed up because like somebody else could have bought the house and enjoyed the hell out of like everything that was connected to that house,
Seriously, a big horror fan probably would have spent good money for a house like that.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, they should have just
Yeah.
flipped it.
That would have probably have been worth more than the Conjuring house.
Mm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, there's
Yeah.
what 108 Amityville movies or something.
Yeah, I
isn't
think
there?
they went to space recently.
Yeah.
Into space.
That was
That's crazy.
Steve Radzinski, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Steve Radzinski.
Steve
One of our-
Brzezinski.
One of our early guests for Karis Hell.
Carousel 2. Didn't that just drop a little while ago?
Yeah, I think so.
No, but yeah, here's a little story. I heard that most of that shit didn't even happen in that house. I heard there was a different house in the back that probably got knocked down. That's where most of that shit happened.
What are we talking about? Conjuring?
The Conjuring.
I thought
It
it
was
was
the
a barn or
yeah, I
something
thought
where
it
Yeah,
was
she
the
got
barn.
the
hung.
barn's on the side, but
Yep.
there's some girl that actually lives in the town that I worked with. Like her family, you know, knows a lot of the stories and some shit like that. So she was kind of telling me that she's pretty sure that wasn't even the house. The house, there was another house that was in the back a little bit more. So
Well,
who knows? Who
hey,
knows?
listen,
You
either
know, it's
way,
Rhode Island.
that land is haunted. So
Yeah,
I don't, whatever.
We got lots of
who
ghosts
knows?
here.
We do. That's the cool thing about New England. You really get that feel, you know?
Yeah, because everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
Fucking death
Yeah,
threats.
because it's old as shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what happens when your town is old as hell.
Spookiest thing is trying to drive around here without getting a flat tire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
In the dark when it's raining out, good luck.
Yeah.
No. Hey, I gotta go to work tonight. Don't be talking like this.
Sorry.
Shit. Also, shout out to AMC Fair Fest. You know, they bundled up with Shutter this year. They also Shutter and AMC Plus are sister and brother network, you know, so they work together when it comes to October. They come with the Fair Fest, which they have all their shows planned on AMC Plus, all the movies planned from Friday the 13th all the way to Nightmare on Elm Street, Children of the Corn. But this year they bundled up with Shutter, focus on it, Fair Fest. Had some big name titles we talked about earlier, The Puppet Man, which was one of Hell House LLC, right? That's one
Hell
of the
yeah.
big ones.
Yep. Yep.
And I think, you know, I think they actually listened this
Did
year because remember I complained about the Children of the Corn remake and I had purchased it on Apple
yeah.
TV for like
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
So they sent us a big box of candy, you know. So and that film was actually in one of the boxes and I'm like, yeah, Children of the Corn. It's one of my favorite films.
We love
Uh
Children of the Corn.
yeah, I love it. Thank you, AMC. Nah, but yeah, they had a lot of great films. VHS 85 was one of the big films that was packaged in. Dave, we are big fans of
Yeah.
you know, VHS. What did you think about 85?
So, and I already know, I've already asked all of you guys off air what your opinions are. I'll just say what mine was. I liked it a lot. I was really excited about it, so that helped me enjoy it, I think, too.
Mm,
Because this is literally one of my favorite franchises of like the non like big slasher ones. Um, some stories were definitely stronger than others. There's one a little bit later in the film that I really liked. It was like a detective and his son. His son's like this goth looking kid. I just thought it was like some of the kills in it felt super brutal.
mm,
And then also I just like thought it was an interesting story. Um, there was some that were like a little bit too long, but like could have been better had like I probably would have liked it better had it been like maybe cut in half. Like the I think it was like the Mexican segment that was I think it was the second segment. I felt like almost like it was two different stories at one point because you started with like the reporters and then you have the kind of emergency responders.
Mhm.
That felt like it could have been two different stories, and the end payoff of that was awesome, but it just took a long time to get there. And that was my only
mm,
like gripe with that one. But like that end segment was actually the end of that was really cool.
mm. Now, what do you guys think about it? You guys checked it out already?
We did.
Okay.
Don't think it was the strongest out of the
Right.
VHSs, but the good thing is, you know, they seem to be doing these like every year, which is sweet.
They
Yeah.
already announced another one next year. Yeah, I do love this as like now a Halloween thing because
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
love this series. Like the first two, I watch constantly. Viral, maybe not so much, but like the Shutter taking this and like running every year with it, it's great. I love anthologies.
Yeah,
and,
Mhm.
same.
yeah. This one again, yeah, it's not the strongest of them all, but it has strong shorts.
Yeah, it's got some fun moments, so
Yeah,
definitely worth
especially,
checking
yeah,
out.
that detective one I did really like.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, you just brought up that, you know, with Shutter taking it over. A film that I would love to see Shutter take over is the Wrong Turns franchise. I would like to see that happen again because we used to get those films every October, and now, they don't have it anymore. And also talking about Wrong Turn, from the latest creation of the franchise, the new reboot, that guy, he actually stole one of the segments in VHS 85. That's
Yeah.
kind of sad. So we're talking about the first segment that starts it off with everybody on the boat and everything, and then the person just shooting people with the sniper rifle and shit.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So friends of the show, Oddest of the Odd, Cortland had sent us a DM, and it was a video, and I was just like, okay, what is this? Because they usually send some of their promo videos and stuff like that, and like we repost it and stuff. And so I'm like, all right, let me check this shit out. What's going on? And then it's just like quick, boom, hey, what's going on? And then it's just like going into it, just kind of ripping those guys apart, like how they stole frame by frame, piece by piece of everything from that clip that they had in VHS 85. And it sucks, you know what I mean, to see big name directors and somebody that's attached to like a big project like that just steal like someone else's work that's independent and doing shit for fun, and doing things that they love just to kind of just get by. It sucks, you know what I mean? And so it sucks, you know what I mean? And to be in a VHS franchise for something that we love, to see something just get put out there like that, for somebody to have their shit stolen. It's not cool. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was young, I got a pair of my sneakers stolen. And it's like just that feeling of just having your shit, just like when you coming back to your locker and it's like, where the fuck is my shoes? I'm like fucking pissed off. And it's like you just want to lose your fucking mind. But it's just like with this is just like if I seen somebody stealing my shit and walk by me with it on. It's like I feel like taking your fucking head off. It's just like what can you do? Like what do you do from this point? You know what I mean? And then it's like,
Were you barefoot the whole day?
look here, don't you worry about me. I keep two pair of shoes. No,
It's completely messed up that somebody would
Yeah.
do that, especially nowadays where like everybody probably knows somebody that knows somebody, and you're gonna eventually find out. So the guy who ripped him off is a complete idiot. I'll say that. Props to the
yeah.
OG artist that created this because it was one of the stronger segments.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know, sue the guy.
Mm.
Sue the guy. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But
I know when we had talked about this before, we were kind of laughing because it's definitely a strong segment and it's like really engaging, but it doesn't feel like it wraps up.
Yeah,
I
And
wish it
it's
kind
did.
of
I
it
wish-
lands flat.
Yeah.
which is funny because it's like he did the shot for shot, but then like forgot to like end it. It
It's like,
feels like we're gonna
fuck.
come back to it at some point, and
hey
they
guys,
never do. As far
I
as
get the rest of that
remember.
footage.
Yeah,
He's obviously not a real artist then, right? So screw him. He ruined the ending.
Yeah, it
He's
sucks.
stealing
Hopefully-
movies and making reboots.
yeah, yeah. He's really gonna have to redeem himself. So
Yeah.
He put his comments on selective, like so certain people can only leave comments now, like his family members and stuff.
Yeah, that's the second that happens too, it's like fuck, I'm caught.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy
hopefully
story.
something comes out of it. Get some
Absolutely.
credit to the right people.
Yeah, get them in the next VHS, right?
Yeah.
Give them
Yeah.
a shot. That's
They
what I
probably
would
made
Definitely.
it for cheaper, obviously.
Right that wrong.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised actually. I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
well,
surprised if we saw that.
yeah,
It's kind of because this one had a lot of like big name directors. I would like to see them pull like more indie.
Yeah.
It's like the people making shorts nowadays on YouTube. Like you
Yeah.
see some really good shit out there. So
yeah, those guys are on the come up though. They're friends with the creators of the film Talk to Me, so
Nice.
I think we'll definitely be seeing those guys soon. So shout out to Cortland. Keep your head up. I know people out here are pieces of shit, but guess what? This is how the world is. And
We'll
fuck
get you
you,
on the
whoever
next
stole my
VHS.
motherfucking shoes. Stole my Deion Sanders shoes. How dare you, motherfuckers?
Oh,
Ah, shit. So yeah, talking about another film that kind of that released on streaming platform. There was Amazon Prime. It was totally killer. I thought it was totally Johnny Bravo. What the fuck do you guys think about this movie? Did you guys check it out?
But yeah, I watched this one. I know this is a new Blumhouse thing, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was fun. It kind of reminded me of Freaky, which I think was probably also Blumhouse.
Yeah.
And Happy Death Day. I feel like they have a feel for
thing.
like these comedy horrors, but I thought it was fun. And again, this was one I'm glad I got to watch at home.
What was the
Oh, yeah.
runtime? What was the runtime?
It wasn't
Too long.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was probably like hour 40 maybe.
yeah.
Like, yeah, the story does kind of run out of energy after a while, but
Yeah. They could have cut
Okay.
some time off it.
yeah, I like one of those. There's a reveal and then it keeps going for like 20 minutes. And it's like, okay.
It's like, hold on, but we're not done.
Yeah, I'm like, you could have been.
It had some like funny moments, but also like, yeah, I realized watching this, I was like, I liked Happy Death Day, but for the most part, those aren't my type of films. Like the comedy heavy horror ones. Like I kind of like the reverse, where I like more horror heavy with a little bit of comedy. This one, it was a decent enough film. I enjoyed it. But I was like, you know what, this isn't like something I would like probably watch again. It was fine for me to watch once, and I probably won't watch it again.
Get you through a night, but yeah, I kind of forget half the stuff that happened.
Yeah, it's just one of those movies I was like, all right, watch it with the kids, and then I think my kids will probably have more replay value with that than I would. I wouldn't watch it again though.
You know what they kept doing, which I thought was funny because I couldn't tell like what side they were on. So they kept like having there's like time travel in this, and when she goes into the 80s, they keep like doing things, and she's like calling them out on it as like she was like, 2023. Like like there's a character in her, they like call her Fat Betty or whatever it is, and like and they're like just pointing out how like that's how it was back. Was it 80s or 90s as she goes back to? Was
80s?
It is 80s, right? Yeah. But it's like how like there's so many things that we used to do back then that like now are just not socially acceptable. And I did think that was kind of funny, but then I was like, Jesus, like we can't do anything now.
Yeah, some guy had some shirt on, and she's like, "You can't wear that."
Yeah, she pointed everything out, and I was like, but I thought it was funny if they were kind of pointing out in like an ironic way, but like it felt sometimes like they were kind of pointing out in like in a serious way, like you really can't do that. Like, I don't know, that part was kind of like, but it was funny just thinking about all that stuff because like I even like with like 90s comedies, there's like so much taboo stuff now that like in 90s comedies that would never fly. Like people like getting like roofied would be like a joke back then, and like now you can't like joke about stuff like that. Like it's not funny, but it would like happen in 90s comedies. So like that kind of stuff was kind of like I'm not sure like what they're trying to say about that, but it was funny to just hear some of the things they were saying.
Are you saying it was funny?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, buddy?
It's funny.
It was funny once or twice, and then
once or twice, yeah.
10 times in, you're like, okay, you trying to tell me something? We know we made mistakes.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. It was like pointing out everything that I used to do that I know is not socially acceptable today. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we had watched a Slaughterhouse, which had kind of that same vibe where at times I was like, I can't tell if this is being overly serious as a joke. But then it started feeling serious, and now I'm like, but it's a fucking sloth killing people.
Yeah. Some funny kills.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about it?
It was pretty dumb.
But it was meant to be done. They knew exactly what they were doing, right? And they called themselves on it.
They should have gone full R and just had like gruesome kills because it was PG-13.
Yeah, it was PG-13.
Okay.
That's the only thing that held it back. But it's still gorier, not gory, but bloodier than I thought it would be.
It definitely had some funny moments.
Yeah.
Talking about some things that you shouldn't say or do. That sloth. Remember that sloth meme a few years back? Yeah, we had all those crazy things.
Yeah.
That
forgot about
was
that.
some classic material right there.
Classic.
Oh shit. Ah man. So Hell House LLC. Dave, you're a big fan of that franchise.
Yeah.
Were you able to check this out yet?
I did. I checked it out. Hell House LLC Origins, Carmichael Manor, I think is the full name of it.
Yeah.
Did anyone else watch it or just me?
I have missed this one, but I did just rewatch all three of the originals.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, you'll have to get onto this one. I thought it was fun. There was some pretty creepy segments in it. the whole premise is around the clown character who we see, like if you've seen the first one, he's in the basement or there's like a scene where
Nice.
he's like on the stairs.
Yeah.
It kind of revolves around that guy and a couple of other clown characters that are in the film. I don't know. I recommend it. I love the Hell House movies. I'm a sucker for found footage. I don't know
Okay.
why. I just like it, but check
What's
it
your
out.
favorite found footage movie?
Great question.
Troll Hunter.
What did you say? Troll
There's
Hunter?
nothing wrong with Troll Hunter.
That's his favorite.
No, it's not, but
Yes,
it's a
it
good
is.
film.
Do
I
it.
mean,
I
Blair
like it.
Blair Witch is like the one that like started it all,
Yeah.
obviously. And then I liked
OG.
the paranormal movies, and
Mm-hmm.
then I like the Hell House movies. I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite. I just like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, I do love found footage. I feel like they're some of the easiest watches.
Grave Encounters.
Cloverfield.
Overfield's great.
No. A lot of different ones.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool shit. All right. So going back to streaming, there was a few films that we talked about before. Tom, I think you were a big fan of this film, No One Will Save You, which is streaming on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me, talk about it. What you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed that film. There's one line of dialogue which is really weird. So,
Mm.
when I first started watching it, I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? This movie, they're not saying anything, right? Like this is really slow. It's like a slow burn. But if you
Mhm.
can make it through till the end, it's just fun. And I don't see enough alien movies, people tackling that stuff. So it was cool to see that take on it. And I like the ending personally. Some people didn't, but I don't know.
Haven't watched this one yet.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's on Hulu.
Last time we talked, I think I only watched the first 20 minutes of it. I watched a little bit more.
Okay.
I want to say shout out to Caitlin Deaver. Like she fucks these aliens up in this fucking movie, dude. I'm
Right,
like, she
right.
goes a fucking war with these guys. So yeah, so I got another, I think 20 minutes left.
Okay. All right.
I haven't finished
Really?
it
20
yet.
minutes at a time.
Jesus. Chopping
Wait,
this thing up.
Did
Yeah, I
they
gotta
show
chop
the
it up.
aliens? Did they show the aliens pretty well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are they
Good
effective?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good design.
It's pretty cool. I don't know.
Not
It's
bad.
not like the scariest thing in the world, but they're not really going for
Look,
super scary. I don't
it's
know.
no Mars attacks, but you know what I mean?
That's
It
right,
gets the
that's right.
job done.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A little
good.
alien in a fucking leather jacket or something, but no.
It gets a little actiony,
Yeah.
I'd say at the end there, but it's fun. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I still got 20 minutes left, but
Yeah,
I'll finish it one
You'll
day.
get to it. You'll get to it.
Next
Yeah.
podcast, you can say how you felt.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I finally finished it. Shit. Yeah, so definitely check that out. It's streaming on Hulu. Dave, you're a big fan of this series. I think did you finish it? Goosebumps. It's on Disney Plus. From last time we talked, I only
Yeah,
watched
no, I'd
half
only
of the first episode.
yeah, I've only watched the first episode. I think Matt, you had seen a couple too.
Yeah, I think I got through the second one.
Okay. Strong start. I enjoyed the first episode. I thought it seems like it has potential. Definitely a little darker than I thought they were going to go for a series that's on Disney Plus. So that was kind of nice. Something geared for older folks as well as the young folks that are going to be watching this. But yeah, overall, it just seemed like pretty well made. The characters, as it goes, being an older person now, every character annoys me that's younger, but like these were mild enough where they were okay. So yeah, I'm interested to watch the rest of the series and see how it goes.
You
I'm
like that
definitely
old
gonna
guy.
Finish this one.
You like the old guy from Night of the Demons now in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to me. Like I'm just like resentful against all young people. Maybe it's just today. I don't know.
How young? Because I got to say, there are a lot of great kid actors out there nowadays compared to back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like these kids are really good at what they do.
Growing up in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They
crazy
just
because
make them different these days. They keep making things
make them different.
I think they make them the same way, Dave.
No, yeah,
I think
but
they
I don't
make 'em
think.
the
See,
same.
I think
All the processed food.
if someone made like a film that you can travel back to the 80s, they was like, "You're not supposed to do that to that little boy." You know what I mean? So that's what's going on. I think everything's safe. So, yeah, definitely we had a few child actors that for a few screener films that we were able to check out. What from like the Artifice Girl,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what
yeah,
it was
yeah.
called, right?
Yep, that's
Just
right.
that child actor, that girl, it was just crazy. I think she was what, like
There's been
10?
there's been a few recently. I feel like
Yeah.
that we've kind of noticed that. And then you think back to like, not to keep bringing up Pet Cemetery, but like the little girl in Pet Cemetery is like pretty bad.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. 80s movies, 90s movies, like I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, but like we just accepted it because it's like that's the quality of kid we had back then. You know what I mean?
Look at how we grew
Yeah,
up.
we
Look
all
at how we
sucked.
turned out.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so that's the thing. And then talking to most of these people, they're like, that was their first film. That was they're like, yeah, that was the first time that kid ever acted before.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
Jeez.
no. Like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So
Yeah.
that's what it's like now. I think they're AI.
Yeah,
Maybe
they're
that's
not
what
even
it is.
It's
real.
got to be
Yeah.
something.
The AI. Shit. Now, just talking about another film that was a big on the list, one of Dave's favorite films in the franchise. We had Saw 10 that released this year. What did you guys think of it? Have you guys seen it yet? Let me know.
Yes, I checked it out. I am not a fan.
Yeah.
Not, I'm not like I like them. I like the movies, right? But
Yeah.
I don't like seeing people getting tortured. Like it just doesn't resonate with me well. I just don't like it, right? So the Saw movies, the first one was fun because of the spin at the end.
Yeah.
This was one of the I haven't seen them all. I will just, say that, but this one was really good, I thought. Thought they
Mhm.
did a really good job. The story was cool, right? The kills were cool.
Mm.
So I'd say absolutely watch it.
Yeah, surprisingly, I have not seen because I love the Saw movies.
He's the Saw guy.
Well, most of the Saw movies. But
Yeah.
yeah, this one I just have not seen yet. Waiting, I guess.
I mean, it's
But,
out. You got to rent it.
yeah,
It's
I'm
like $20.
definitely- Yeah, I'm
but-
gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I'm
I
in.
saw one scene when I came by here, and I was like, okay, this feels like the old Saw. It was
Felt like Saw.
great seeing Tobin Bell back in it.
Yeah. It's crazy because I think because Tom, you're not the Saw guy. I'm not the Saw guy. These two are the Saw guys and still
We
haven't
haven't-
even seen the
yeah,
fucking film
we
yet.
haven't seen it.
And guess what? I also enjoyed this film too.
All
And
right.
so I also agree with you. The story was good. And I had told you guys before, I'm like, wow, a Saw movie that people are actually dying for a reason. Like this guy fucking
Right.
is always in someone else's shit. It's like, dude, mind your fucking business. Like, what's going on? Like, kill people that fucking matter. Like, you know what I mean? But they got it right this time. And so I
They
think
did.
they went back between what the second and the third one. This is around that time. So it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. The story was done well. The actors, the people, the kills were cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
man.
Dave. I don't know what you were doing. You went and seen the Nun 2 in the theater
I was-
over this. I don't want to miss seeing the Nun on the big screen.
I wanted to see. I wanted to see Five Nights at Freddy's at home, and I wanted to see the Nun 2 on the big screen. I made that choice,
And
and
I
I
don't
wanted
think-
to see Saw in the theater. I was supposed to
You're
go see
not.
it last night. It just didn't work out.
You're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
then the
make it.
Nun 2 ended up streaming like the week before Halloween.
Yeah,
It was
it's on
more
HBO.
effective on the big screen. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
Definitely
But,
check it out, Dave. It's the feel good Saw movie.
Now I'm kind of scared. You two really liked it. We're probably gonna hate it.
I know. That's
What
that's
is
what I'm
this?
thinking. I'll
What
never
is
forget.
this?
I'm trying to remember which Saw movie it was, but it was like if one came out around like 2018 or 2017. I went to go see it in the theater, and I think Brandon, you were like, "That's trash. That movie was trash." I'm trying to remember which one.
Oh, it
that
was Jigsaw.
Yeah,
Fucking
Jigsaw.
garbage.
It was Jigsaw.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Jigsaw.
And I was like, "That was awesome."
It's trash.
I also did like Jigsaw.
Yeah. I just love the feel of those movies, and I always say it's like there's a formula, but like it's just fun to watch it, and you know the formula already, so you know what to expect. It's just you're just trying
like
to
s-
like
It's like
pinpoint it.
Scream.
Yeah.
Mm.
Scream's got that.
Pretty much.
And they all have the same feel to them.
Yeah.
Tom, what did you think about
Had laser
Jigsaw?
beams.
I didn't watch it. You know why? Because I didn't hear good things about it. So
I'm telling you, see?
You let
Yeah,
people
have
get in
to
your
go
head,
watch
Tom.
all of them.
I know. But
I'm pretty sure all of them are streaming on like 3 different platforms.
I trust Brandon. So
They just added them all to I think it
I
was
saw
Shudder.
that. I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like
Oh,
all
that-
lined up.
All right, there you go, Tom.
I'm telling you, Tom, you're not gonna like Jigsaw. Jigsaw,
I know.
no
I'm
good.
not. I
This
don't
is
know.
this
No,
is the
but like
best one they did in a while.
3 and 4 and those I like love those two, and those are two that people never like refer to when they talk about their favorite ones. So I don't know. Check them out.
One, two, 10.
Yeah. Yep.
Nah.
What else? What else came out? Exorcist,
Oh
Believer.
yeah.
Tom's
Another one.
favorite
I
film of the year.
chose to miss that one.
I mean, you're trying to tackle The Exorcist, right, and bring it back, and I don't know.
You can't.
You can't. Number one, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion.
Yep.
And they completely rework the story. There's two families and too many characters. That's all I have to say about too many characters.
Yeah.
Yep.
I heard that they didn't even like pay homage to William Friedkin, who they could have, like, because his passing happened like right before the release.
Yeah.
Did they say like an in memory or anything like that?
I didn't see anything
I
in the
don't think
credits.
so.
It's kind of messed
That
up if you think
sucks.
about
I
it.
think they were just so scared of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
They just forgot to put it in. It was like, fuck, we changed the date, but see, now you want to add this guy's name. What we gonna do next?
Yeah.
So it's just like it's
I
too
think
much.
I think missing that though kind of shows like the lack of like authenticity to the actual project.
Yeah.
Like it's not a film being made by people who care about The
Right.
Exorcist,
Yeah.
right?
And that's kind of what I was saying earlier about, people, they try remaking some of these movies from other countries. They try rebooting these movies that have already been done. It's just for money, right? There's no heart in it, and it comes through. The real
Yes.
fans feel that. So
Especially now when it's like, I feel like there's 10 possession movies every couple of months.
they're all,
So it's like, how do
Yeah.
you do something different, but also pay homage to the best one?
Mhm.
Yeah. Hard to do.
No, you said
but
you
not-
liked it full through, right?
Who? Me?
You.
The whole
Yeah,
thing?
full movie, yeah.
No, listen, watch it. I would say watch it and come up with your own opinion about it. But I just, they do some things like the floating. Oh, the body's floating. Like that was scary 50 years
So Tom,
ago.
did you like it?
Did
you like it?
Oh wow.
I'm dancing around it. I'm dancing around
You were
it.
very quick to tell
Muhammad
us you didn't
Ali.
like the Saw movies. What do you think about?
I did not like it as a whole. There were some good moments, but
Okay,
I don't know. I didn't really like it.
you heard it here first, folks. Tom hated it.
But don't
didn't
listen to
say
me.
it.
Watch the fucking movie
He
yourself.
We didn't
hates The
say it.
Exorcist.
I love the movie.
You guys just got blackballed. So we
Yeah.
didn't say it. We don't talk about movies like that no more.
Bullshit.
They're not going to
What-
send
what
you
you-
any candy, Tom.
Oh, that's all right. Buy my
I
own
love
candy.
I love Children of the Corn.
Oh
2023.
my
That's my
God.
favorite movie.
I don't think they can afford to send anything spending $400 million on it. So.
Yeah, now there's
Yeah.
two more, right? There's two more. Are they
Um,
going to be different movies, the next two? Or are
I've
they
heard David Gordon Green might be stepping out.
smart?
Oh.
Smart man.
Nah.
I mean,
I don't know.
after how people felt about Halloween, do you really
Yeah.
want to take another giant franchise?
Yeah,
and
he must be
ruin it.
like, I'm just going to go back to my roots.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
he's
think
already
that-
signed on for the contracts, you know what I mean, for all three films, right? So you can't just walk
Scary.
away.
He's killing these
That's the
franchises.
scariest thing.
Killing them.
He's the real killer.
Seriously.
Give us our Corey and the Exorcist.
Yeah, I liked what the first 30 minutes of that film was strong. The ending was good. But like I said before, I think they were just trying to play it safe. Like you said, there was too many characters. I feel like it should have just focused on the one family. But the family with the strongest story were, African American. And I feel as though that they wanted to play it safe and they didn't want to sit there and put out a movie that's African American family with an Exorcist film, you know what I mean? Because it would have caused a lot of issues. But they had the strongest story. You know what I mean? It had the strongest story with the single father and the daughter. Their mom passed away, and just focusing on that. Like even when it ended, it was just
Yeah.
smart. Like it was just like they just forced another family into the situation for no reason.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like there were just too much going on with it, right? Like
Yeah.
they started the movie with that family, and that was a cool storyline.
Yeah.
And then they just shoved this other family in here just for I don't know.
They're like, wait a
reasons.
minute. Like, wait a minute. We guys gotta play it safe. You're not seeing what's happening to Marvel over there with Spider-Man? That's black. We can't do this shit. People don't want it. You know what I mean? So it's like add another family in. You know what I mean? So it's just like you missed the mark, and then you got Taylor Swift coming through, knocking them down. They knew what they had.
Taking
They
over
had to move the
October.
date. They had to move the date. They couldn't stand up to that.
I mean, if
But
the movie was good enough on its own, the date
oh
wouldn't have mattered, right?
no,
But they
not
knew
at
what they
all.
had. They knew
Yep.
what they had.
But definitely, I think that if you're a fan of those films, definitely go and check it out. Don't let Tom,
Hey,
Yeah.
steer you
I
wrong
really
because
hope
Tom
Tom
didn't
didn't like
like
over
it.
affect you guys. Yeah.
Tom, you can't be talking like that, man. People are listening.
We're trying to tell you, Tom.
God damn it.
Jamie's gonna be.
Tom
sitting
was
here next
begging us to
time.
play Tom was begging us to play the trailer before the episode too.
Listen, Dave,
Look how
maybe the
bad this
movie
is.
just wasn't made for me, okay? Maybe it just wasn't made for me.
I seen
It's
that
okay.
little review you did just talking over trailer. Look at this fucking piece of shit. Does this guy
Yeah.
show his face in Hollywood?
That's the
They
new
stepping
Scariest
down
Cut.
because of you, I heard.
Yeah.
Wow. You got that kind of pull, huh? Damn.
Yeah, Tom,
He's
scariest
the only
cut.
person who watched it.
Oh shit. What else have you guys been up to though? What are some of the things that you guys watched or did over October?
I just wrapped up the Fall of the House of Usher.
Okay.
I heard that was
Another-
really good.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan just knocks out of the park. Like
Yeah.
almost everything. I think the only thing I didn't care too much for was that Midnight Club. Is
Yeah.
that the one?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But,
The
like,
Did he
end,
do?
the
He
end.
did that one. He
Yeah.
did Midnight
Yeah.
Club too.
Yeah.
Oh.
which I think was him kind of trying to do something more
For a younger generation, maybe?
generation.
Yeah.
Which
Mhm.
it was still really good. It just kind
Yeah.
of fell flat.
Yeah.
And
That was
also-
the Christopher Pike adaptation, right?
yes.
Yeah.
And I know he wanted a second season, but Netflix did not allow that.
The next day, yeah.
So it kind of ended on that, like, oh, what the fuck? There's still more story here.
Sure.
So
Hmm.
it didn't end great, but this is very much Fall House of Usher's single 8 episodes and great storytelling, great acting.
Cool.
Mhm.
So that was really good.
Yeah, I watched the
Yes.
first episode.
What'd you
It
think?
wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it like you'd like The Exorcist, but you know what I mean? It wasn't bad.
I'm never gonna hear the end of this. Watch the movie. You're all gonna agree with me. All right. You want me to be that guy? You're not gonna like it. all
I'm
right?
never gonna be able to watch this movie and not think of Tom's opinion though. So like,
See, this is why I was dancing around it. God damn it.
This is why I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I don't want them to ask me.
Just have no opinion.
Shit.
Yeah.
I for the Halloween season, I actually tried to rewatch all the Halloween movies. Actually, so I went back to check some of those out. Some of them hold up, some don't, you know. But yeah, H2O was fun. Resurrection,
Hmm.
right? I honestly I like the Rob Zombie, right, remakes.
Yeah.
I do.
Sure.
I think he did a really good job with that. You feel the Texas Chainsaw Massacre influence in those movies,
yeah.
Yeah.
big time. Just the way he
Yeah.
films,
I
but
always thought those were strong, and people just hated.
Yeah,
them
they shit on that
so-
stuff, but-
like, I can understand why, but at the same time, I'm like, I like to see a better reason for why Michael Myers is a character.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like as great as the original is, it's like I'd like a little more.
Mhm.
which we get, right? That
And
kid actor.
it's just it's doing something different rather than just revisiting what already exists. So I mean,
Right, right.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you think of 4 and 5 after rewatching them again?
Really? You're asking me that for a reason. Okay, you're leading me down a road.
Look here, motherfucker.
I'm not going down that road.
Like,
Okay, we've all seen them. We've all seen them.
we're recording.
So I
Yeah.
think 4 gets like a lot of praise just solely based on the intro. Like that
Sure.
opening scene where it's
Yeah.
like fall in like in Haddonfield, like they have
Mhm.
scarecrows. It's
Yeah.
like that scene right there, the opening scene, like it just sums up fall and Halloween. The films themselves are like, I don't know. They're to me, I know some people love 4 and 5. I am like, that's not my favorites of them.
Yeah.
But I love Curse of Michael Myers. Like part 6 is one of my favorites. So I mean, I'm kind of like an outlier as well. So,
And you like Halloween Kills.
Oh,
yeah, well,
No. I
wouldn't say like. I liked
it.
75% of it.
I mean, I didn't mind the first 2 there, but Halloween Ends. I mean, I
Oh,
get
kills.
why
Yeah,
it-
yeah, kills. That
Yeah,
I
say
did.
the
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Kills.
They had some good kills. He doesn't like it either.
I would have liked it better if he had a hockey mask on because it did not feel like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
Michael-
I totally agree
He's
with that.
breakdancing, killing
Yeah,
people. I'm like, what
I
is
didn't-
going on?
Like,
The
this is a
fight
70-year-old
scene is-
man at this point.
the fight seems ridiculous. He also killed people like outside of his like line of needing to kill them. Like it felt like he was seeking out people to kill, and that's not a Michael Myers move right there. And you know, obviously this is someone else's view of Michael Myers, so like I gotta be respectful of that. But like it just like they were trying to connect to the first film. Like that's not something Michael Myers, it felt like Michael Myers would do. He wouldn't just randomly kill this couple like brutally too. Like they did nothing at all. So there was a few scenes that were like, oh, that's kind of unnecessary.
That's
Yeah,
why I
but
always
Evil
say.
dies tonight.
I mean, in the second one though, if you rewatch the second, like there is an older couple, in that original second movie, but I don't know if he kills them. I think he just takes the knife and leaves.
Yeah, doesn't he just take the knife and leave?
He does, but I think that was like in paying homage to that scene. But they just took it a little further to make it fun. So I get it.
7 knives and stabbed him in the guy's back.
Yeah.
And the lady survived too, so it was like, really, why? I don't know.
I mean, you got to amp it up these days, right? We're all desensitized to all this shit, so it's like you can't just be stabbing somebody into a door and having them just hang there. Right?
Oh shit!
You can't do that. Yeah,
it still worked in 2018 when they did it.
That's true.
There you go. So, guys, tell us what you guys got going on. You know, fill us in. Anything that's coming up new? You guys working on something? What's up?
We're always working on something.
Yeah, so now we're working on a YouTube type thing, a little longer format thing because we've been doing like these 45-second minutes of scare. Now, recently we've been doing countdowns of movies.
Yep.
Which kind of keeping somewhat of that feel, but making it a little longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer format, right? 15 minutes to a half an hour. We'll be discussing different films. We'll be having other content creators on at times. Just kind of want to make it like a variety type show, make it a little fun for us. We'll still have the scariest cuts in there. You know, we might do the funniest cuts or whatever, just different stuff like that. So we'll take clips of that and we'll put it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. So
cool.
That's what we're up to right now.
Nice.
So I know that we've talked about this in person as far as like the need to like adjust to how you know, to the trends or to what's like kind of just the way social media is going at times. So I always think you guys are always paying attention, and I appreciate that about you guys. You know, I've had conversations where it's like the previous format just isn't it anymore. So now you got to kind of like, you know, and like the big change obviously being like with TikTok becoming so popular.
Oh yeah.
That changed everything.
Was not expecting that.
Yeah,
like I'll never get on TikTok, and then now I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. We can't say we love it, but I mean, honestly, I think the way it is for us, if we're not having fun doing it, then it's time to change it up a little bit. So you know, that's what we focus on, and if we can make better content, more the better. I don't know.
That's why we've got James over here now.
Yeah.
It used to be the two of us trying to figure this out, and it did not look this good.
Yeah, James is definitely killing it for you guys. Just with all the visuals and everything like that.
The graphic design work. Yeah, he's the brain.
Shout out to James. James, put yourself up on the screen.
Here he comes, ready? In the shadows.
There he is.
Yeah.
He's also been slowly losing his mind for the last 3 months.
Oh my God, we've been working so
James, what'd you think of Exorcist Believer?
I didn't see it.
Smart man. See? Well done. Well done,
Just
James.
avoid.
I should have just said that.
Didn't see it.
Cut all of that out.
Oh, shit.
Hey, just real quick, I got to give a few shout outs. So Rob Sanami, I think that's how you say his last name. Sounds pretty close, but not. Savage75 _ on social media. He sent us The Pale Duke, his new graphic novel. So Rob is actually part of a local band as well. I don't know exactly how to pronounce the name. I think it's like Ambergis or something like that. So pretty cool. He had connected with us a while ago through his band. But recently, like I said, he sent us his new graphic novel. We're actually going to have him as a vendor at our upcoming indie horror movie night, which we're doing November 11th. It's a Saturday at Buttonwoods Brewery. He'll be sending copies of this, so we're excited about that. Matt Forget, we got sent a ton of books this month. Sent us the Felicitas, or something like that. It's pronounced. This is another good book. It's a follow-up to a Christmas horror book that he had done. Matt is out of Boston, or just outside of Boston, I believe. And then Brandon Paras Sanchez and Aaron Beauregard. Sorry, I realized that we've been saying that wrong for like 5 years. Aaron Beauregard collabed on The White Bishop, which is a novel that is Brandon's first time writing a novel. So congrats to him for getting that out. And, that Brandon's also part of Monster Makeup LLC, and we'll be screening Saint Drogo this Wednesday, November 8th at the Avon at 9:00. So we're really excited about that. And yeah, are you guys coming to that? Putting you on the
Hell
spot.
yeah.
All right. Good. So super excited. We got a ton of stuff coming up this month, all in the name of indie horror. And then Brandon, why don't you tell them about the third event we got going on this month?
So we're gonna be doing Never Hike Alone 2. So that's from the Womp Stomp films. Definitely come out and check that out. We're gonna be over on the GAM Theater over in Warwick, off Jefferson Boulevard. So definitely come out. That's gonna be a cool event. That's gonna be our first time showing a film in the GAM Theater. So definitely come out and support this event, because this is where we're going to take some of our big name films, something like that we did with the Park Theater a while back. We're going to kind of create this as, a place where we could show films like Alien, like we did Alien, The Thing, and Buttonwoods is going to be our place where we show the cheesy films that people love, the campy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because, we noticed that, sometimes some people just don't like being in the brewery setting or being around beer. And so we hear everyone and we will be delivered. So we're going to get you guys in the theater to kind of get you guys going.
We
Get
also
you
don't
guys
get a
coming
good
out.
response when we show serious horror films at Buttonwoods. We know because we
Yeah.
did a couple.
No,
I
yeah.
think, what did we do? Halloween 1 or 2? Did we do Halloween 2?
It wasn't even just Halloween. It was just some other films too, but it's just I forgot what we did.
Just the more serious ones.
Yeah.
I don't think they like go for the vibe that we got going on at the brewery, and those just the turnout is always a little less, and just the vibe is a little lower. So I think we know that our niche at Buttonwoods is
Yeah.
those cult horror films, and that's just what we're gonna like focus on doing there.
Yeah,
Because
no one wants to
Work better
come.
with high test beers.
Yeah, no one wants
Yeah.
to come there and then have to. Shh, this is my favorite part, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing walking in front of the screen, dude? These fucking chicken tenders out of here. I didn't know this. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different shit. So I'm trying to, cater to our audience, and also at the same time grow, because we also noticed that, like you guys said earlier, there was a lot of people outside. I don't think we're gonna be able to get that crowd inside of Buttonwoods,
Look,
so I think we're gonna have to cut down, to a certain limit
Play
of
something
people.
serious. There you go.
No, we're gonna play something serious, something else, somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
No, we're gonna have
The
to
party
start. Yeah, we're gonna have
We'll
to
differ
cap
when
off
we're
tickets.
outside in the snow.
So
Yeah.
bring your mom, bring your dads, bring your grandparents, you know what I mean? Because this is what we're gonna be doing. You know, we're gonna having a good time watching some
Yeah.
films that they grew up on. Come
Oh,
on
this
out.
also gives us a place to actually have guests,
Yeah.
speakers, and like special appearances too. So that's what we're excited about. Is like
Yeah.
we can have some pretty decent events if we can get this off and running. So
Yeah, so Vincent DeSanti is gonna be he's gonna be at the event selling some merch, showing some movies and stuff. Never Hike in the Snow and Never Hike Alone. Some shirts, some hats, so definitely come out. It'll be a good time. We appreciate everybody that come to all our events, and we appreciate you guys coming to our events all the time. So it's all about the horror community, you know what I mean? We do this for you guys, so
Well, we
It's-
show up because of you guys. So
Well,
Appreciate
you know,
it.
it's cool having you guys on here, because like we talk to other we talk to other content creators and stuff like that, and they'll kind of like talk to us about the events. But like you guys know the events, you guys experience
Yeah.
them, and you know, like it's not even about us, it's about the community. And like, how many people did you guys meet through events that you like every time you see them now you're like familiar with them, or like
Mhm.
they're, or just like you kind of build your own rapport with them, maybe talk to them outside of the events or collaborate with other people that you met through them. Just like the Rhode Island horror community is awesome, and just getting them all into the same place has just been cool to see, like the connections that have come out of there. Like, for example, Brandon from Death Drop Gorgeous and Aaron Beauregard collaborating on a novel. It's like, I'm not going to say that that's because of our events, but like that's the kind of stuff that happens when you bring people together and they start just talking horror.
well, dude,
Yeah.
at your pop-up event, I picked up that book actually, and I had both them sign it. So
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we've really appreciated that's been able to happen from these things, and kind of fuels us to want to continue doing them. So, thank you
Yeah.
to you guys and everybody else that comes.
Yeah, and that's big too, because it was like, even like when we were at Revival, like they were working on Death Drop Gorgeous at the time, and coming in, watching the film, and then also doing edits and doing stuff and
Yeah.
working on it and doing shit. So it was cool just to see those guys grow to where they are now. You know what I mean? It's like we all grow together, because it's like something, you're doing something you love, and and that's the same thing, working with you guys and seeing you guys take from what you were doing to what you guys are doing now. And there's room for everybody in here, and so we all have like continue to work together, and just keep on amping everybody up, keep it going, because there's room for everyone. And
Yeah.
Rhode Island's just taking off, and so we're all taking off together.
That's right.
Yep.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah, maybe
Absolutely.
some people know what we are.
Rhode Island, where's that?
Rhode Island.
Rhode
We're not part
Island?
of New York.
Wait, Long Island?
Long Island, yeah, they always think it's Long Island. Hey,
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us again, and thanks for everyone who's listening. Make sure you check out Scariest Cut on all the social medias, and who knows what else in the future. You said YouTube
Stay
as well, right?
Yeah, that's our main focus right now. We hate
Okay.
asking
Mhm.
people to follow us, but we do appreciate you
Follow
asking
them.
people to follow us.
Yeah.
So that
follow
that
the
works out.
Scariest Cut,
We,
Follow
or
the
I'll
Scariest
cut
sincerely
you.
appreciate. Hell yeah.
But no, it's great. And like, I just appreciate what you guys do. And I, like Brandon was saying, there's room for everyone, but I like you guys have your niche of what you do. And I just love how it evolves and it changes, but it always is very like, it's still you guys. So I think that's always important, is like, no matter how people change, they got to make sure they're doing stuff that's still authentic and genuine to who they
Right.
are. So yeah, we appreciate you guys, and thanks again for doing this. And we'll have to do this again down the road, but we'll be obviously seeing you guys in person later this week. So
definitely.
we'll see you then.
Absolutely.
And thank you,
Appreciate it,
James.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
He's blushing.
The backdrop's awesome. So good job. All right, guys, we will let you all go. So everybody will be back next week with another episode. Thank you for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a review and all that other stuff that we hate asking people to do, but you got to do it because we're telling you to. So see you later. Have a good night.
Take it
Peace.
easy.